Everyone, and welcome to our Tenderloin Community School. I want to say thank you to Principal Shatner, and whenever that name appears, you got to ask the question, and I did. Are you related to William Shatner? She'll tell you she is. So go find that story later on. So there's a Star Trek link to this school and to our school district. It's great to be here with our school board. With Superintendent Carranza, our leadership team, and our school district, but also a great presence of our number of departments and agencies that are working to improve the experience and the life of all of our youth. Because we all know that it isn't just the schools, although that is a critical part, and that's what we're here today. But we also understand that for our youth to be successful and for their families to be successful, we have to work on many fronts, and that's why there are so many good agencies here that are concerned about everything from early childhood education to preschool to after-school programs to job opportunities to getting our kids across town on free muni for those who need it to making sure that they're living in a wonderful city that supports them and their families. That is to say that all of us in the city, including my staff and the number of departments and the school district, have worked together to build a stronger city and a better public school system. And we continue to do that on an ongoing basis. And if you hear the ideas coming from the school board as well as our city coming together, you know that we won't be interrupted in this effort. We're making record investments. We are, in addition to what we do as a city, I know the school board feels our effort in enticing philanthropy, foundations, successful businesses to join us in making that investment in our kids and in our families. And obviously there are many foundations that are helping our school district. I happen to be able to entice one in particular, and I continue to say thank you to Salesforce Foundation and the Benioffs for their contributions to aiming their philanthropy at our middle grades. And that is extremely important because that's the data that told us that we had a special challenge in that particular grade. But it is as important that so many other foundations, whether it's the Haas or what Warren Hellman used to do and when he was around, but now his family continues to do, all of them are aimed at elementary and of course college track and high school and so many other programs. And then this morning I had the privilege of joining Hydra, who's my education advisor, and her husband who works at United Way to get commitments from employers throughout the city. Just this morning, literally over 4,500 pledges of jobs, included our library, included Muni, included our planning and our building inspection, all the city agencies joining private industry like the banks, like Starbucks, like Breeze. You have got to know who they are. And so many technology companies and traditional companies at the chamber that made a commitment that in the Youth Jobs Plus program, they made a commitment of over 4,500 jobs, well on our way to a number that I won't announce until we actually accomplish it, because it's a huge number. We all know that we want to do more, we must do more, and we want to make sure that our investments conclude with great outcomes for our kids. And we know they have to be prepared in so many ways, not just what happens with books and computers, but in life skills. That will provide them with a successful foundation. And we need to do our part to make sure our city is affordable to them as well. Because when we grow this talent, as we know we will, we want that talent to remain in our city and be successful in our city. So that's why we have a panoply of things that we have to do and want to do to make sure our families are successful. I am committed to building more homes at record levels, homes that are affordable to teachers, but also to our students as they graduate and they feel there's a promise in the city for them. So if they make that sacrifice, I want to be there to provide and to make sure to provide that they have the keys to homes that they want to live in. We also want to work with our parks, our neighborhoods, our seniors and our disabled to make sure they can get around the city and also be successful in our city. And I'll tell you that open space, as well as housing, as well as good transportation, all work together to support the increasing investments that we're making. Today, I'm proud to announce an increased investment for our youth to the tune of $355.5 million this next year to our education system, our public school system. And this includes $36.5 million towards the school district's rainy day fund. And I know we've been discussing that rainy day fund in very great detail to make sure it works even better. And I know that the school board and our superintendent gave us good advice when we structured it so that it wouldn't have some delays whenever there was a tweak of challenge to the school district, that now they can respond even better and quicker. That's an incredible investment. Admittedly, we are in good economic times, and we're lucky to have this opportunity to share the prosperity with everyone, and that's why we're making smart investments. That's what we're doing today. And the school district's rainy day fund is a smart investment, making sure that in economically challenging times, whenever they may appear in the future, and I hope we never see them, but when we talk to investors who are families who may want to locate in the city, they will see that we're making smart investments for them. And we'll continue making investments that we're proud to do. We are increasing the slots for our Preschool For All programs, making them universal. And we're eliminating, as we announced earlier in the year, eliminating all of our wait lists for our summer programs. And that's why it's so important that we announce again right now, we're clearing all the wait lists for our after-school programs by funding 860 more slots. You know, we talk about them in slots, but these slots are invaluable to those that have attempted to not be on a waiting list to get into these programs. And those slots altogether will cost us, but we're glad to do it, $2.5 million more this year so that families aren't waiting for these slots to open up. Those slots are valuable to them because once you get your kids into these programs, people can go to work, they can have their kids activated, they can exchange with them the life lessons that they're learning from all the experiences that we're involved in with our kids, and that the school district, working in concert with our invaluable nonprofit sector of program providers, our rec and park agencies, our social service agencies, all the agencies that Maria Sue has lucky enough to interact with in our children, youth, and family, they enrich our kids. We want to make sure all of the programs enrich the experience of our kids, as well as provide them skill sets, and also targeted at kids that I know have to catch up because of life barriers that through no fault of their own they're faced with. And that leads me to yet another increase in this budget, and that's the employment and training opportunities for our transitional age youth. We call them our TAY youth, age 16 to 24, that on a statistical basis face double the barriers of getting employment. They come from families that are challenged. They may have touched the criminal justice system. They may have deep, deep poverty barriers to climb out of. These transitional age youth have been our focus because we know through our school district, if they don't show up healthy, if they don't show up with family support, they themselves will not be successful. We figured this out over many, many conversations, a lot of data telling us, a lot of data tells us that we've got to do better with our transitional age youth. It's not just about the money. Superintendent Carranza and the school board, we've engaged in this conversation intensely with the public last year when we passed Proposition C. And in doing so, we engaged Supervisor Norman Yee and A lot of the supervisors who had spent some time at the school board in their previous years, in concert with our early childhood education experts, and in creating a process in which we would honor not just the amount of money that the city and the school district are willing to spend, but how it's spent, where the smart investments are. And through time, some of this has to change because of new challenges or a better understanding or a deeper understanding of what those challenges are. So in doing that, and in making sure that we honor the voter-approved Proposition C, we have entered into a conversation with our community to make sure that we have an ongoing council of experts, people that come together on a regular basis to review data, view practices, get rid of non-performing practices, invite new and successful best practices for our school district. That's how we're going to continue being the best urban school district in the country, if not certainly in California, because we constantly are reviewing what we're doing, matching it up against data, having those conversations. We can only do that if we have a structure that invites that kind of review and ongoing improvement. And so we have created and established a council. We've entitled it called Our Children and Our Families Council. And this new unique council institutionalizes successful partnerships across the city and in the school district. It sets the stage for broader partnerships. Once we establish an ongoing council, I predict, superintendent and school board, that you're going to invite even more private investments to our school districts. They'll see that we handle both resources and money more responsibly than ever before. We are setting shared sets of outcomes for our families and our children by coordinating through this new council, and we'll make our city a city that has all income levels of families thrive, not only working harder, but working successfully. I want to just give a special shout out to Supervisor Norman Yee because he has led this, and in every one of our periodic meetings, he's really championed a dialogue around this. We are currently recruiting community members who are interested in serving on this council, wanting to make a difference in the quality of life for thousands of kids and children in our city now and in the future. And if you're interested, we're going to call you out and have you come and volunteer. Don't be just a critic. Get yourself involved. Find solutions. Be part of the answer. That's what our school district needs. And now we have one of the biggest answers, and that's the infusion of dollars, but also increasing the partnership that our city has. I don't ever want to have, and I know the school board knows this, it's more than just talk. I told you that you will not have a city that ever abandons you, whether you may feel it from state politics or national politics, that you may not get the resources. Our city will continue doing the best, and in these times of economic prosperity, we're going to share that with our school district because we know that's where the talent is grown. That's where it's going to be. And ultimately, every successful industry in the city, whether it's healthcare, tourism, hospitality, or technology, or now the growing industry of local manufacturing, they're going to all find that talent right here in our public school district system. So with that, I want to say thank you to all of the partnerships here. This is a good day. I'm glad to share this prosperity. That also means that we have more responsibility to be had. I want to thank all the agencies that are here because we're all figuring out together how this infusion of dollars can be done smartly, but with a long-term interest and a great invitation to the families here that there's another good reason to fight the cost of housing is that you want to stay here because the education system is world-class. Thank you very much. Superintendent Cronson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I want to thank everyone that's here this morning for this incredible announcement from the leader of our city, and how appropriate it is that we're gathered here at the Tenderloin Community School, a school that really was the idea, the outgrowth of community involvement, of community-based organizations and very involved citizens that came together and said, we want this school to be located in the heart of the Tenderloin, but we don't want it just to be an amalgam of classrooms. We want to have wraparound services. We want to have community services. We want to have a clinic. We want to make sure that the needs of our students and our families are served. And how appropriate it is that we're standing in that facility here today, listening to the mayor announce that when the city does well, the city takes care of its own. And we're so proud to be a school district here in the city of San Francisco. Before I say much more, I also want to thank the members of the Board of Education that are here with us today. President Emily Morase, our Vice President Matt Haney, Commissioner Hydra Mendoza McDonald, and Commissioner Jill Wins. I want to thank them for being here today for this important announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, what's important about San Francisco is that the talent that we need to continue to be a world-class city, not just in California, but in the world. The global economy exists right now in classrooms across the city of San Francisco. They are the boys and girls in kindergarten through 12th grade classrooms that want to live and stay in San Francisco, that want to raise their families in San Francisco, that want to become part of the infrastructure and part of the talent pool here in San Francisco. So the announcement that the mayor made today, investing in the rainy day fund, because we know that it'll come. We don't know when, but we know that rainy days come, is critical for us because those minds are nurtured with dedicated, committed educators in the classroom, administrators, teachers, paraprofessionals, support staff. And the Rainy Day Fund has allowed us in the past, when times get tough, to keep our talented educators and staff in schools. So this is critically important as we plan in a fiscally responsible way for when that downturn comes. And when it comes, we have methods to be able to counteract the negative effects of those downturns. And I can't emphasize enough how important it is as well for the investment in after-school programs and extended learning programs. We all know that learning doesn't stop when students leave the classroom. Learning continues. It's ubiquitous. They learn in their city. They learn in their environment. And how wonderful it is that in this city there is no wait list, that any student can be part of an after-school program where they not only will get academic stimulation, but they'll get to be outside, they'll get to have physical education, and the benefit is that their parents get to go to work and contribute to this economy. That doesn't happen without an investment that the city is announcing today in those programs. And finally, I want to thank the voters of San Francisco for approving Proposition C. What we are creating in San Francisco is something unlike anywhere else in the United States. A community impact, a collective impact, where we are saying we are creating a framework for children and youth, as indicated by our Transitional Age Youth and how we're going to be able to serve them. But we're creating a framework where truly no student is not known and no student is not served by the system here in the city of San Francisco. So on behalf of the 57,000 students and the 8,000 residents, Mr. Mayor, your employees, our employees, I want to say thank you. And most importantly, I want to say thank you to the voters and residents of San Francisco who absolutely time and time again believe that it is not possible to have the city that we believe is the world-class city it is without a world-class public education system. And we're very proud of that fact. So I want to thank you all. And Mr. Mayor, thank you for the good news on a Thursday. And now if the Warriors win tonight and the Giants sweep, it will be truly a time for celebration, right?